What's going on, guys? It's your average consumer, and today we're gonna be checking out something a little bit different. You know we like smart home products over here, so whenever there's a piece of tech that can really upgrade how you do things in the home or in the office, you know I'm all about it. So Robo Rock was cool enough to sponsor today's video and send over the Robo Rock S7. And I've seen a few robot vacuums in the past, you guys, but this one's a bit different. So we've actually got it set up right here in the studio, right over here. So this right here is the Robo Rock S7 and the auto empty dock. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on here, you guys, that you just wouldn't even imagine. So the S7 features sonic mopping technology. Basically, this thing can scrub dried up spots on the floor up to 3,000 times per minute. It's crazy, but to see it in action is actually really awesome. So we're not looking at just a vacuum here, you guys. This thing is also a mop. Now you guys can't see it here, but underneath the S7, there's actually a rubber brush, which I think is like brilliant. If you think about it, there's usually a bristle brush. Those tend to get hair caught up in it. That's the normal brush that we typically see with like all vacuums, right? This one is completely made out of rubber, so it decreases the chance of any tangles, anything like that. It's just like a brilliant idea. I hate dealing with like tangles and hairs where you just gotta like pull them out. It's super annoying. Not to mention that kind of design is just more durable. So this thing is crazy functional. It's got like the water tank here in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that. Ew, touch the mop area.
That's my drink.
That's your drink, Jay? Oh man, that's that green stuff you had, right?
I just accidentally spilled on the floor.
Thanks, Jay.
No problem.
Now for me, the mopping feature is what's really cool here because it's not something I've had in the past with previous robot vacuums. It's the first time I've had it all in one, so I actually really like that feature. But one thing that's actually cool is that if you're in a vicinity like what we have here in the office, if you've got hardwood floor and then you've got like carpets and some other areas, what it'll do is automatically detect the change in the environment and it'll raise the mop automatically as it gets onto like the carpet. Now, you can actually go ahead and go into the app and set a no mopping zone. So if you just wanna make sure that the mop doesn't come down in certain areas, you can actually just go ahead and set that in the app. But I kind of like it just doing it on its own as it detects the different locations. I think that's awesome. Now that kind of functionality isn't just limited to the mop. If you want to set a no-go zone so that it doesn't hit certain areas, let's say we don't want it to hit that box or this table over here. So if you want to set a no-go zone, maybe you've got some important things that you don't care to have the vacuum go towards, you can always just go ahead and add that into the map. Now this dock right here is multifunctional. Obviously, when it comes here, it's going to charge up. It automatically aligns, sets itself in place so that it can get its charge. But this is also where it auto empties. So once it's done cleaning up, it'll automatically align itself in here and then it'll suck out all of the dirt inside of the vacuum so that you don't have to do any extra cleaning of the vacuum itself. All you've got to do is come over here. Once this thing fills up, you can take this little dirt bag out and then boom, you can go ahead and toss it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and talk about a dust bag all day, but it is kind of cool that it has a mechanism so that once you pull it out, dust won't come out and start flying everywhere. It actually stays all inside of the bag, keeps the house clean. And next to the dustbin, we've got the air filter, so we're keeping everything nice and fresh. So it can do the whole auto empty thing. One thing that's actually pretty cool, the attention to detail is nice. If it isn't aligned correctly and it starts auto emptying, it'll actually stop and prevent any of the dirt from coming out onto the floor or anything. It'll stop, align itself correctly, and then start the auto emptying process. So it'll always try to keep it nice and aligned so no mishaps. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that little circle puck-like thing on the top of the S7 is actually a LiDAR scanner. And this is the same kind of technology that you see in autonomous vehicles. They've got like these LiDAR scanners so they can avoid collisions. Obviously, you want that in an autonomous vehicle. And this is exactly that. It's pretty much an autonomous moving vacuum. Nice save, right, Jay? But yeah, why that's cool is because it can use that to scan the room, map it out. Other robot vacuums will need to actually traverse the entire floor, bump into things to know that it's not supposed to go there. This guy doesn't need to go across every piece of the floor in order to know what's going on around it. And it actually did a really good job mapping out our floor here in the studio. And you guys can just see it right here. This is it pretty much mapped out, and it's able to do this all in one go. So we've got like our chair over here. That's the L chair that we've got right here. And it does a really, really good job. And this is all on the first go around. And while we've got the app open over here, let's talk about some of the cool things that you can do in here. So right here is pretty much like your main interface. You can hit the clean button. And then it'll do that. It'll start getting revved up, and then it'll be ready to go about its way. So you guys can see it's ready to do its thing, right? But I'm just gonna hit the dock button. It's a very, very short trip, very short clean. We don't like to overwork our guys over here. And that right there was it emptying the dustbin. And it's actually got some pretty cool tech that realizes how much cleaning it did in the house, and then it'll do the appropriate amount of emptying so that it can get the canister clean and just ready to go for the next round. Now, if for whatever reason it doesn't automatically empty, you can just hit the empty dustbin button right here. You've got that kind of control as well. And you can even control the amount of power you want it to use when vacuuming. You can even control the sensitivity of the scrubbing. I like intense. I want to make sure there are no spots left, so we keep it on that. Now, what's cool about the S7 is that if it's in a multi-floor home, you'll be able to set up multiple floors. You don't need to take the dock upstairs or anything, but like if you want to just have the S7 on the second floor or something, you take it up there and then it'll map the floor and of course clean it just like it would any other floor that it has mapped. So I like that it's not stuck to just one floor. We only got one floor in here, but if you have it in a multi-level home, it has that ability. Now, of course, a smart robot vacuum like this is gonna have the ability to do scheduling. So if you wanna have it start at a certain time, repeat on certain days of the week, whenever you want, you can go ahead and set it to the map that you want it to work on. But one thing that it can also do that's actually pretty cool is be used with voice controls. So if you have like an Alexa enabled device, you're actually gonna be able to just call out to it and tell it to start cleaning or go back to the dock. You got that functionality there as well. I mean, the S7 can do a lot. It's actually really impressive. I think it's probably one of the most feature-packed robot vacuums that I've seen to date. So huge shout out to Robo Rock for sending it out to us. Definitely glad to have it here in the studio. But that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you got some insight into a pretty dope robot vacuum. If you guys are interested, the thing has a lot of versatility. So if you're interested, I'll of course have links down below in the description. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace. Carl, why don't you mop like that?
I don't know how to mop.